Hi everybody, this is the Wing Dial. I wanted to share with you some of the tools that I use on a daily basis within Vikings, War of Clans. One of the tools that I use is MemuPlay. Head over to the browser, have a look at MemuPlay.com. So it is an Android emulator. So in other words, your phone, it emulates any number of phones based on the capacity of the device that you're installing it to. So I'm going to choose download, and you can see down here that it's downloaded. I'm going to double click on it and choose to install. I'm going to close this background window. So the reason that it's saying upgrade install is because I already have it installed. So I don't mind running it again. One of the things that I would say to you is that with this piece of software, which is happening more and more typically now, you're finding that there is some free software that's been bundled into it, and you have a choice to accept or reject it. Personal hate, I just don't like extra software being installed. If I particularly wanted McAfee Web Advisor, I would go and install that separately. So I'm going to reject that. And the same with the Avast free antivirus. So it's going to trundle away and download the package. It's now installing. So once it's installed it opens up in the browser with some additional information thanking you for the download. But what's super important is that there is support in here. There's some intermediate guide, basic knowledge, installation and start, graphics and performance. There's a blog as well. You can get a lot of good information from there. So overall fairly useful. So I'm going to close that down. So in the background now we've got the Memu has installed, and it's going to say launch now. Now because I've already got mine all configured, I'm not going to launch it here, but I'm going to close this and I'm going to go into Multi-Memu. So when you open the program, you'll come into the multiple instance manager. You will want to create a new one because you won't have any instances here. You see here I've got 4 mobile phones configured. So we go new and select the Android 7.1. I'm just going to go and create a new one. Pretty quick. So it's called it Memu 4, little red dot on it because it's not been ran before and it's new. So let's just rename that, and I highly recommend that you name your account. So let's just say this is going to be my baseline secondary instance. In fact, I'll just call it baseline test instance. So I'm going to call it that for demo purposes. You'll see here I have a baseline instance already up the top, and I'll explain what that means in a minute, but you don't have that and if you've just downloaded it. So we're going to create one now. So we've renamed this and we're going to start it. So what's happening now is you can see along the top here we've got the title bar. It says MemuPlay, and it's showing you the name of the instance that's currently running. So as you remember, we just called it baseline test instance. You've got a minimize button, your alternate between window size here, and the close button. Okay, so what's happening now is that our new instance has launched. We have Memu guide here. You can flick back and forth. It's just graphical. When you have some time, you can review over that. So I'm going to close that. And what you see here now is our base phone. So you have Google Play Games, Google Play Store, there's settings, and there is rather bizarre looking monkey on fire offer me a download for the game. So this is brand new, straight out the box. Now, one of the first things that you have to do to create your baseline is you have to go in and Google Play, and you're going to have to sign in, because if you can't sign in, you're not going to be able to download the game Vikings. So it's asking me to sign in with my Google account. If you don't have a Google account, at this point you have an option to create it, and you can log in and create your Google account. But I'm going to close this because I already have some instances open, so I'm going to use the cross up here. Now, one thing I want you to note at this point is what you're doing is you're actually just closing Memu on this instance. So if I had my other instances running, just pressing the cross there will only close this baseline test instance, because that's the active window that I'm in. You also have a choice. You don't need to say to shut down. You can actually just restart, but on this occasion I want to actually close it right down. So now I'm going to delete this. So imagine now in your installation you have your baseline instance here. Now what that gives you is that you've logged in to Google Play, and you've downloaded Vikings. You have probably set your date and time up, essentially what you would do with a new phone, and that is a base product that's sitting there. Now that gives me the option now, if I wanted to, if I had lots of different alt accounts, I can clone this instance, and it means when I hit clone, it says how many copies do you want. So say I have another 2 alts, and then when I say OK, I'm not going to do that because I don't have a huge amount of space on this drive at the moment, but if I clicked OK, what would happen is there would be 2 instances down here, and they're ready to go because we've already done the Google Play element of it and we've downloaded Vikings. So I can just literally open Vikings and then log in as you would restore an account or create a new account, etc. in Vikings. So let's start up the wing dial, which is my main account, and you can see, because I've named it correctly, I always know which instance I'm in, what I'm running. And I don't need to enable the virtual keyboard. It probably won't come up for you. I think I was tinkering around trying to install a keyboard at one point. Okay, so you can see now that I'm in here. Now I've got an advert that has just come up. You can pay for a MemuPlay account, and that removes all the adverts in here. They don't really bother me. There's a couple that come on at a time. I just ignore them. So here's my account. And one of the things that I want to show you that is quite important is, because it's an Android device and you've got Google Play on here, if you go in and have a look, when you set up your baseline, you logged in and you created or used an existing Google Play account. By using the same one for any Vikings game that you join within here, what you want to do then is when you buy your packs, you make sure that you do it through the instance and not on your phone, because if you're using iPhone or something, you don't get Google Play points, and that is one of the benefits of for me having MemuPlay, because it's an iPhone I have, so I don't have Google Play, so I can come on here and buy my packs through here. And you're wondering, well, why go to all that effort? Well, when I go in and I click on my profile on the Google Play Store, and here you've got play points, you can see here that you can earn rates. So I earn 3 Google Play points for every $1 that I spend within Vikings, and I can use them. So if I come over here, I can look and see, and there's lots of different options. So I've got almost 1,000 here. I could use some of these. I don't find those particularly valuable, but what I do find of good value is here the Heroes Double, 7 days. One of them is 400 play points, so I can get a week's hero double for essentially no money. So for me, that's much more beneficial for me to buy my packs through Google Play. But also, if you don't want any of these, you can scroll down, and your points can then actually translate to actual real life Google Play credits. So once you've built up enough, you can then use them to pay for your packs. Sorry. So if I go into perks, the other thing you can do in here is once a week you can come in here. I've obviously done it this week, but you can come in here and it's got a sort of free prize draw. You press the claim button, and what it does is it does like a spinning wheel thing, and then it says how many play points you've won. So you can win a certain amount of points every week as well, and then that just adds up here to the total. So enough about Google Play. Let me close the Google Play Store down. And as I said, this video primarily is just about giving you a brief overview of Memu. So I'm now going to go into the game and show you how I use Memu as well. So this is a window in its own right. So I now have Wing Dial about to run on my MemuPlay instance. Now if I was running it on the phone, it would just disconnect from the phone, so it would just look like it's lost connectivity. That happens to us often enough. So there's a new game version. I think there was well, I know there was a download yesterday. I'm not going to bother with it here, we don't have time for that just now. So while that's putting up, I'm going to go and I'm going to start Captain's Winged Canute, which is my alt, one of them anyway. So you can see the same thing here, and while that's doing that, I can sit and look at the game and see it's about to be loaded. Huzzah. So here we've got Vikings running here. Let me go back to Captain's Winged Canute. I'm going to cancel that. So just the virtual keyboard again. So this Play Store account is obviously still linked to the same Play Store that I use for the Wing Dial. So if I bought any packs on Captain's Winged Canute via this method as well, I'm earning points there too. Winner, winner. So I'm now loading Vikings on my alt account, and you can see here that I have both running. So while Captain's Winged Canute is running, what I want to show you is down the right hand side of each of the instances you have these buttons here. There is lots of things you can do with keyboard mapping and things like that. The things that are of main interest to me are the volume, because when you first load Vikings, as you well know from a new instance, you have that blaring Viking music. So I like to turn that down to give me an opportunity to get into the settings in the game and then turn it off. And the other thing that's of benefit is here, these three dots. So when you click on that and go to Recorder, this opens a window called Operation Recorder, and in here you can see there's a record button, combine scripts, and import and export. So if I wanted to import any scripts or export them, I can use these buttons, something that I don't do, and I have an option to record an operation or combine scripts. And in this bit here you can see that I have a whole host of operations that I created. Now some of them are named and some of them are not named. So let's say, for talking's sake, I want to show you the tasks. That's a real mundane job that we have to do, although Plarium has made some really good improvements, as you know, with the higher VIP levels. When you go in there, you can hit the claim all button, and then, as you know, it's going to do 100 at a time. So I've written an operation that, as long as I'm in this screen, this is where I've recorded it from. Press play, and look, it's just going to go and run away and do it. So that means I'm going to close this one down, and I'm going to open the operation manager in here as well. And you see that the operations that I've recorded are available in this instance as well. So that is one of the benefits, is that it's not related to just one instance. If I create something new here to record, when I reopen the operation manager in here, it will be available within the wind dial as well. So they traverse across all of your instances. However, the operation recorder works in its own entity within your own instance. So this is running over here. This one's already running, so it's minimized. So I can then move over this one and I can run a different task. So let's just say if I go into my materials, I don't know if I've got any, but let's just see. Yes, so I can run a separate script where it merges the materials. So now I have two running. So as you can think about things that you could actually use this for, you're recording those strokes and you're saving that, and then you can then use that across your different instances that you have running. So let me stop that, and let me stop this one, and you can see that the windows are in different positions. So if I wanted to, some of the things that I've done, if I go in now, I can merge the materials on this one. So let's merge. Oh, I'm on the wrong. There we go. So it's running the merged materials there, and perhaps over on this side I might want to say, well, I want to do something different on here. So if I wanted to record a new action, so let me do this one. I can record, and you can see up here it's now got the re-record option, and you've got an option to pause it. I could probably pause it while I'm talking, but I'm just going to record. So I can then hit the claim all button and they apply. And the reason I'm doing this one as a new is because it's slightly different from the other task one, which is banking on me having the higher VIP level. So I'm going to stop this, and when I scroll down the bottom, it's going to be the last one that's there. So I can, and I'm going to press play, and you can see here it's going and it's going to run the script. It's going to take a few seconds because obviously I was talking in between. There you go. So on a very, very quick level, that is a very brief overview of it. There's lots of different things that you can do on it, but I just wanted to give you a quick overview. So thanks very much. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe.